Want to go on? Okay. Oh dang, I forgot I had for the stream to start automatically. So you all have been just hearing me bumping around for like the past 2 minutes. I'm also going to give it some time because I know I did this late. I'm sorry, you all. Had to wait for my phone to charge. I did not have my fast charger for the life of me, so had to wait for it to charge. And when it finally charged, I was like, oh crap, I didn't have my stuff ready to go because of course my computer decided to update before the holiday. So I didn't have that all together either. So yeah, I'm just late, but you know, better late than never. I do also have to look at the poll as well because I don't know what it was at. Last time I seen it, it was 50-50, but I don't think I put the poll out in enough time for enough people to vote on it. So I'm just going to do like a collage of the readings that I had posted and just let it go from there. If I'm on longer, I'm on longer. What was it doing? Go ahead, open the door. Just rude, dog. Just rude. Baby, what are you doing? Are you just sniffling over there? All right. So without further ado, I'm going to hop into this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off with my first portion of this. Why did I not have timestamps on this, bro? See, this is why I can always go back and edit all of this in the studio because, oh my God. That's supposed to be automatically set on here. I don't even remember where I did it. So I'm gonna say, all right. So if you hear me click off every now and again, it's because I am trying to add the timestamps as I go because I will forget And then people will be asking, where's the timestamps? Or can you let me know where this portion of the reading you did it at? And I honestly won't be able to tell them because I don't remember. So without further ado, I am going to pop into the poll and see which one came up first. If somebody else voted on the poll, I doubt it because I know a lot of people are out enjoying their holiday. So I know it probably did not have additional votes to it. Let's see here. Yep, no, it wasn't additional votes. But yeah, again, I'm going to put it out like earlier this morning. So I figured just do a mashup of all of them and just get it out the way. And then I can always come back later and just break this video up. I might private it later and just break the video up. But that's a later issue. For now, I'm going to start this off for the first portion of this video, which will be whether or not Putin has really exited stage left. So if you all don't know, the reason why I am doing this reading because something came across my news feed. I forget which outlet reported this. Daily Mail. I seen a Daily Mail post come across my feed. It was a article that they wrote where it was saying Putin is essentially using, we know for sure he's at least using 2 body doubles. And they went on to say like, oh, well, you can tell they're body doubles because the height difference, their mannerisms, sometimes the speech patterns, because I believe it was some Japanese, was it a Japanese company or the Japanese government or something was running some kind of, or was using some kind of software to determine whether or not it was actually Putin, because I guess people have been having a hard time getting a hold of him or something. I don't know. Because I just glanced over the article because I was not trying to subconsciously take in anything and have it come out in this reading. I wanted it to be a pure, true reading. But however, essentially the Daily Mail was saying that according to reports from a Japanese government or consulate or something, I'm not sure, some software that they were using, they could tell by the speech patterns. Some people could tell by the heights. The earlobes are different. And so they're saying purportedly that Putin is using at least 2 body doubles. And this is coming out amongst, this whole Ukrainian war and everything. And people are saying that they have not heard from, or there has been hard evidence. It hasn't been hard evidence that we actually have seen Putin himself since October of 2023. I think that's when they said, because supposedly that's when he kind of like kicked the bucket, allegedly. But I don't know. It was a Daily Mail report. Daily Mail, I take it with a grain of salt. I don't take it. Everything that they say is factual, because sometimes I used to read the Daily Mail and just be like, oh, okay, they're a reported source. They're a reputable source. But then with the whole thing that came out with the Charles and Meghan Markle debacle, they kind of lost some stars in my book. They kind of got knocked down a few stars because they were just reporting on a lot of mess. And during the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation, it was like, okay, y'all are just messy. So I take it with a grain of salt, but some people really believe that this theory is true, that Putin is no longer on this side of things, and that supposedly it's a shadow or a puppet government that's pretty much running the whole Russia thing. That's why it's being so hard to put a ceasefire to this whole Ukrainian and Russian war that they have going on, because they're just kind of like trying to carry out his last wishes or whatnot. This is all, again, all alleged for entertainment purposes only. Do not take anything I say with a grain of salt. And as you see, I'm saying hearsay and where I got this information from. So if the news is redacted, or they pull it off and say this is all false, we know what's going on. But I'm telling you, I've seen a report on it, so that's where I seen it, and this is why I was curious on doing this reading. So with all of that being said, what's your thoughts? But we're going to see what we get with these cards. And if there's something that you feel like you can add to this, you can kind of inform me on more, because I'm not trying to watch all of the political stuff that's going on right now, especially with this whole bill that Trump and his cronies are pushing through right now. Ugh, it's horrible. So I have been kind of not watching the news, but still doom scrolling at the same time. So with all of that being said, I'm going to get into this reading. We're going to see what's going on with Putin, if there is some grain of truth to this or not, or if it's just a whole bunch of smoke that they're blowing up our tails. So with all of that being said, make sure you have your tea, make sure you're relaxed, come on in and enjoy this reading. So let's see here. I'm gonna see if we can tap into this. I'm sorry, I gotta get comfortable. Okay, this is a bunch that want to come out here. What is this? 5 of Staffs, the Empress. We have 5 of Swords in reverse, 7 of Staffs, and the 6 of Staffs. And what is this? 10 of Staffs. Oh, it's a lot of staffs. A lot of war here going on, ain't it? Daughter of Cups. Now, why would she flip over in here? I'm going to kind of mix these in here together. Like so. We're going to try and shuffle again. If it's meant to be here, let it stick to the table. Not a whole book, please. I'm not even going to look at these. I'm just going to kind of put these in here throughout. Okay, and we have the Fool. So we have the Son of Cups in reverse, and we have the 7 of Coins in reverse as well. So, okay, I'm sorry, I had to get my mat together. So the Son of Coins, if you are not a tarot reader, or if you are somebody who does tarot but you don't have the Sufi Tarot, the Son of Cups is the Knight of Cups. But it's coming up in reverse here. 7 of Cups in reverse. Usually when I see the 7 of Cups, it feels like the work, it feels like work that has to be put in, but you're not trying to do it at this moment, or it's delayed, or something. Then the sewing process of this idea, this plan, this work is not turning out quite right. And then the Son of Cups, the Knight of Cups, usually to me in reverse is like a lack of imagination, lack of charm, lack of fulfillment. And then the Fool. And the Fool is in the upright. So it's so to me it's kind of like stepping out on faith, beginning a journey, beginning the process on something, whether you have it or not, you figure it out along the way. I'm confused with that. And then that 7 of Staffs is coming up again for the underlying energy, the World, and then the 3 of Coins. So a process is complete. Some kind of cooperation or collaboration here. Seven of Staffs usually to me is kind of like being calm among the thorns, rumors, gossip, chitter chatter, that kind of thing. Can I get some more clarity on what this 7 of Coins is? What is the 7 of Coins? Oh, things that, oh, you know what? No, that's the swords. I was like, is this the seat? But him kind of being under this shaded tree in this deck kind of made me feel like, you know, being paid under the table kind of thing. I got that intuitive hit, and that's probably why I started leaning towards the swords, but it's the coins. I had to remember it's coins. Oh, you see that? The Tower card wanted to flip out. Did anything else flip over? Oh, that's funny. I mean, or not funny, depending on what this is trying to say. Okay, let's see if it's actually meant to come out. Okay, that kind of just... And why do we have the Daughter of Coins? Okay, let's fill in my lap. High Priestess. Intuition. This kind of feels like applying a plan. Stepping out of, what is this intuition? Stepping out on faith. Kind of putting something into motion. Maybe not having all of the resources for it. What came up in the underlying this time? Two of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the Two of Coins. Two of Cups. It's coming up in the upright. Okay, let's see if I can get some more clarity on this here. You know what I didn't do? Make sure that my audio is working. Because, you know, my mic likes to go out on me sometimes. It's mostly OBS. Yes, I'm blaming OBS. Let's see. Oh, you know what, guys? Hold on. 1 second. All right, sorry about that. The puppy had an accident, so I had to make sure I addressed that. Poor baby. Okay. So where was I? So we were talking about the Daughter of Coins and the Seven of Coins. But then we got the Catalyst. And it says radical changes taking control. It says something about a plan, but it kind of feels like it's something under the table here. Okay, why is this? I mean, God. Oops. We have determination and certainty. That does kind of give, every single time I see Fati on here, it makes me think faith. I don't know if that's actually what it means, love, faith. I'm not sure. But the Sentinel also to me kind of brings up the Chariot card. And to me, that's kind of like, you know, that's a general card that I'm directing the war here. I'm directing the show. When to push forward, when to pull back. I'm keeping the tempo of the battle. I need to know what everybody is doing at all times. That also explains kind of to me the High Priestess feeling here. Just like sometimes you have to follow your intuition. You have to make sure you are tapped in when you're on the battlefield. When you're trying to win the war, you're not just trying to win the battle. Nope, nope, nope. All of this. And then look at this, the shepherd, celebration, family. It's funny, we got two like goat scully heads here too. The hunter, sure-footedness, predestination. I'll say this, if it's not that Putin is out of the picture or incapacitated, whatever the case may be, it to me, and I don't know if he really have trusted generals like that around him, or maybe they are all just on like the same page, but it kind of feels like this is the plan that, or this is the end goal that we are aiming for. These are the big steps we have to follow. These are some of the things that need to happen in order for us to arrive at the end goal. So no matter who's in charge, make sure we get to that end goal here. But also watch and make sure that these little things happen too. And if this happened, or it kind of feels like it's fail safes in plan. Like we are all agreed upon this is what we have to do. And even if it's not, this is what we have to do. This is your portion of the plan that you need to do. Execute it. I shouldn't have to like keep on checking in with you. You know what your goal is, complete it. You know what your mission is, complete it. It's kind of just like, it almost feel like, I don't know if this is a good analogy, but it kind of feels like if a coach was running like a football team, you know, if you're X or O, you know where you're supposed to be, no matter what the other team is doing, this is the play that we're running and you go do it. Know who you're supposed to be on top of and follow through with the plan that we're doing here. And that's kind of like what this feels like to me. And look, under here we have correction. We have experimentation and rebellion. So I wonder if there is some like infighting or disagreements. And then we also have the forgotten, which is missed opportunities and fear of failure. And this is coming up in reverse. No, we're not counting that one. Or those, because I'm not even forming the question all the way. One more card, Spirit, for additional information. Okay, what is it with this princely card? It keeps wanting to come out. Romantic charm or potential for power. Is he just gonna romance the socks off of you in order to get power? Like, I'm not familiar with Putin's tactics, but that prince card keeps flipping over in this deck, so I thought I would call it out. See, look, because there we go again. It was a bunch of them that just fell in my arms, and that prince card came out again. I'm gonna note these here, but I'm going to keep this prince card out because to me, it feels like that's supposed to come out. Even though I don't understand exactly why, because it's kind of along the same lines of this Son of Cups to me. But yeah. What does the shadow attribute say? Using power for self-aggrandizement. That to me sounds like Putin for what? Again, I am biased because I am only exposed to the media sources here in America. And most media sources I've seen around the world aren't favorable to Putin. And if they are, it's stuff like probably like North Korea or like Russia itself. And I don't get that news. So if there's another story here, please inform me if you know. But from what I can tell, that seems to line up with him from the media that I get. The slave card did come up in reverse. And it says, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. What? Giving your power over to someone else out of fear of making your own choices here. But there feels like there's already some kind of predestination, some end goal in mind. Is he like a puppet leader? And I wouldn't believe that because I don't know, it just kind of seems like he calls the shots and tell everybody how to run the play. And I feel like anybody that rises up against him is like taken out. And then you have Liberator, freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thoughts and patterns. Liberator. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I'm going to get a yes or no on this. But again, I will tell you, it feels like there is an end goal in mind. And I think even if you cut the head off the snake, so to speak, that snake is still going to live. Or I would say a better way to say it, those lizards where you can cut or is it all lizards? You can cut their tail, the tip of their tail, and it regrows, it regenerates. It's like you can cut the tail off thinking you're doing something. You cut off the arm, you cut off the head and think you're doing something. And sorry if you all heard that. That was my brother sneezing. But if you think you're going to remove the head or take out the arm or chop off the tail, it's just going to regenerate. Because it has an end goal in mind. Those nerve endings, the message from the brain has already been sent. We're running for safety. We're running to the water. We got to do this. And the parts are doing what it needs to do. It's just following through. But again, the cards that fell out to the side was the networker. So I am going to read the light attributes. It says, enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. To me, this feels like social media, especially with this person like running on top of the globe. This kind of seems like misinformation, or maybe just disruption, or maybe using the internet to communicate something in some kind of way or spread your message, your ideas. That's what this kind of feels like for me on here, the networker. And it says spreads fear and falsehood. Yeah, that could be another thing. We're going to spread, like you're going to get whatever news I want to give you because I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to plant the news. And then we also have child orphan here, and it did come up in reverse. I'm going to read the shadow. It says feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. That does not make sense to me. Child orphan. I feel like it's probably dealing with something more so on a geological scale. It kind of makes me feel like if you know tarot, it's kind of giving me like the five of this, kind of like the child left out in the cold, the what they call it, like the red-headed stepchild kind of vibe. And then we have victim here with the light attribute saying prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Servants, light attribute, delight in serving others with free and loving heart. That doesn't sound like him at all. I don't know what that is. And then we also had mystic, light attribute, revels in intimate union with the divine. But what is it with this kind of like, because it's mystic and the priestess here gives me kind of like the same energy. Is he saying he's ordained by God to do this or something? Again, that doesn't sound like the Putin I know, but again, I don't know much about this man, and most of the news I get about him is just him being a warmonger and a horrible person. So I don't know if there's another side to him outside of that. I'm okay with saying this is going over my head. I'm just going to stick to the thorough line that I'm getting in this of just like, there's obviously something, at least from my vision of things, that is going on up underneath the table in this whole conflict, and I don't think that's a big stretch. I don't think I'm gonna pull anything saying that. And I also feel like, again, I'm not getting a clear thing on whether he's gone or not. I mean, some people could interpret the high priestess and the fool, and then you have like these go heads and stuff that doesn't bode well. Like some people will probably read that as him being gone, but to me, I don't feel that intuitively. Like, at least from what I'm picking up on this, his presence feel very like this is here. His presence feel very here, and whether that's just in a spiritual sense or a physical sense, I'm not getting a clear beat on whether or not. I feel like if anything, I'm picking up on more so of like, you can try if you want to say not rush. They're gonna do what they want to. They're gonna keep sprouting back. So yeah, that's on that. That's off. So the next portion of this, oh God, we're going to get into the heavy one that I have a freaking anxiety about. We're going to look at whether or not Trump's big, beautiful bill is I was going to say Trump's BBL. And whether or not Trump's a big, beautiful bill was going to be the outcome of this big, beautiful bill that he is pushing through here. Let's see. I have to check something too, because I forgot to add the timestamps for the Putin reading. So I'm going to go ahead and add those now. Yeah, so if you all don't know or don't care, you can just kind of tune out here if you want to. But for those of you who do care, Trump is, I don't know if it's passed. I can't say it's passed yet because I don't think he has signed it into law. But there is a bill that Trump likes to call the big beautiful bill, and basically it is going to hamstring a lot of low income to middle income, I would say low income to low middle income, blue collar kind of like workers. Basically, if you make less than, I want to say, most people seem to say around, if you make less than like $250,000 or $100,000, you are going to be pretty much fucked by this bill. Because it's pretty much going to hamstring stuff like Medicaid. I think it is Medicaid, Medicare. So a lot of people are going to be without insurance. They are doing a cuts on child tax credits. What else did they say that was like a big hamstring? It's something to do with green cars or like energy efficient cars, something like that. It's also a part of this bill that's gonna kind of things over, but most of it is just like it's a tax bill. Essentially, it's a big tax bill, to keep a long story short, and there's a lot of caveats to this big beautiful bill that some people think that even Trump doesn't know how detrimental this could be to some people. But basically people feel like this is just a bill to help the upper class or the like top billionaires, top companies gain even more power. And a lot of people, according to some, what do you call them? According to some financial advisors, this bill, once it's passed, is going to create the biggest transfer of wealth upward, not to those who are struggling and working and who is pretty much propping up the economy, but it's going to transfer a lot of the wealth upward to those who barely pay taxes as it is and who don't really need the tax breaks. Instead of the tax breaks going to kind of like the middle class and lower class. If you all don't know the problem or issue with that, here in America, we usually have a middle class kind of like of earners who I can't even tell you kind of what is the bracket for middle class anymore, but it pretty much has been squeezed out repeatedly, where the middle class is usually like this main support for both the lower class and the upper class, where the taxes that the middle class pay is helping funnel innovation for businesses and company owners, that top percent, that upper income, that upper echelon. But it's also helping prop up those who are lower class, who, you know, they can't work, maybe they have some kind of disability, they fell on hard times, whatever the case may be. And it's steady getting squoze out, and a lot of people are afraid what is going to be the effects and the repercussions of this bill, because it did pass the House. I believe they were still debating on it in the Senate if it isn't already passed, but you know, this bill has some people nervous. So we're going to look and see what's going to be kind of like the fallout for this, if there's going to be some kind of changes here. I know some people, I've heard some people say they hope that the Supreme Court gets involved. I don't know legally if that can happen once it goes to his desk, unless they block it or something, or I don't know. I don't know all of the processes, unfortunately, so I can't give you all of that information, but it looks like it's going to go through. So a lot of Americans are going to be screwed. And so, yeah, I figured I would do a reading on that and see what comes out. We're just going to see the future energy. I'm going to try to tap into the energies around the big, beautiful bill, what's kind of going to be the outcome, the fallout of this bill once it's signed in. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to get too deep into this because I don't feel like I'm the person to kind of give you that information, or not to give you the information, but I don't think I would be the person to relay the information correctly, because I don't know enough about how Congress do all of this work, and if it's something that can block it. I think you have to follow somebody else who is more politically inclined. That is not me. I know it to a certain extent, but I don't know it enough like that. So yeah, with all of that being said, please keep in mind that this is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. I am simply doing this hopefully to just kind of get you all prepared, maybe assuage some of your fears, excuse me, or, you know, maybe put you on alert and you have to be prepared. So again, I'm an intuitive reader, everyone. So there's certain things about this energy that can change. So do not hold me, my feet to the fire for this. Okay. I'm just trying to get the information and relay it as best as I can. Okay. All right. So unclench your butt cheeks. Okay. funny. We have how many cards that fell out? I feel like it's a fourth card. It was 3 that fell out just that fast. We have the Son of Staffs, the Nine of Staffs in reverse, and then the Six of Cups. Let's see, I'm going to put these in the deck at random. You ain't never lied about that Four of Cups. What do we have here? Ooh. Oh, I didn't know this was out. Okay. Is there anything else I want to tumble out, Spirit, in regards to Trump's big, beautiful bill? And this is turned to the side, so I am going to pull it. Why is the Two of Cups coming up? Are people going to, or is it because of the bill? People are, is this something in there about marriage? Or coupling, maybe? I don't know what that is. Okay, so before I read the underlying energies, focus. So the Four of Cups immediately to me is count your money, y'all. It's broke people around. It's hide your money. It's count your coins, penny pinching. Don't spend too loosely. Watch where everything is going. Watch your riches. You're not gonna be able to go out here and do like you want to. Three of Coins here in reverse. Three of Coins in reverse. I'm not sure why this is coming up. I mean, it could be something on the side of the political spectrum, maybe, of like, maybe there's going to be some repercussions for people who push this through. I'm not getting a beat on what this Three of Coins could be alluding to here. Because at first I almost wanted to say, is this something dealing with the everyday person, community? Like, why would the Three of Coins come up here in reverse? Is it like a reversal on finances or something like that? Bartering? I'm not sure. And then I want to say, isn't 15 death? I'm not sure if it excuse me, not me stumbling here. I don't remember if 15 is death or the devil. I feel like this is, let's see, the devil. Yes. I'm used to the traditional one where they have like the lovers on here and not a big shadow. So yeah, so this is the devil here. But it kind of feels like, I don't know if you all can see that. Doesn't it look like it's like a person standing in here in the smoke with like a cloak on? Is that just me? That's spooky. Giving into temptation. Giving into temptation. And then this Two of Cups pop up here. And when I seen the Two of Cups, to me, I heard like companionship, union, marriage was like the words that I heard. And let me go back and address this. Even though this is the Four of Cups, I was getting more of the Four of Coins. Because even though this is supposed to be the apathy card of like you're not paying attention, to me it's like, no, people are gonna be like penny pinching. It's giving me more of like the Four of Coins. But yeah, I want to address that. But this is giving, when I first seen this, this made me feel like people are going to be, okay, is this like a thing of like, Is he trying to succeed in breaking? To me, that don't make sense though, because I feel like a lot of communities are kind of just, at least when it comes to different races here in America, and I would say, especially places like here in Michigan, you know, we're so big, we're not all congested together like that. Um, Communities pretty much stay to themselves. You have black folks in their community over here. You have the white folks. Yeah, they like to be sprinkled all throughout, but they basically stay to themselves. We have, you know, a large Middle Eastern community here. Most of them kind of stay to themselves in these certain cities. We have a large Bengali Indian community. They largely stay to themselves and their community. Like, we have a lot of different or like, I know we have a Hmong population here. Most of them stay in their little community. Like, it already feels like it's already fractures and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So to me, it kind of feels what I'm getting here, or the imagery that I kind of see in my head, is people being very secular, being very, these are my people. This is who I'm going to stay with. This is who I'm going to help, and this is who I'm going to be with, and screw everybody else. And it kind of seems like that's the goal that he wants to achieve in the first place. Like, you just mind yours, and then when we come for you, you worry about it then. But until then, we're gonna focus. I need you all to focus on making sure that this particular community that we have on the bottom at this time is the ones that's kind of like being pushed forward. And then look at this. We have the Three of Swords coming up in reverse. That is not getting over a heartbreak. That is something painful. I feel like broken spirit almost. And then we have the Shah of Coins here as well. I'm getting like head of the family though when I see like Shah of Coins. So is it, I don't know if it's like a, and if you're somebody who's in America who do taxes and stuff, you'll know what I mean when I say this. If you have to do your taxes, you know, when like you're head of household kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking of with the Shah of Coins when this came out. Why breaking the head of households though? And then we have, ooh, Son of Coins for the underlying energies. Is it something like maybe a younger generation is going to do better under this? I'm not sure. Okay. Let's see if I can get some more details here. Sure, Red Skies, what's your question? So the Chariot here. Okay. Oh, Lord. Ooh, what was that? That wanted to flip over? Was that what I thought it was? Yeah, the Eight of Swords. Okay. Nah. Ooh, that's how I want to come out again. I need 1 or 2 cards. Anything more explanation why this Three of Coins is coming up here in reverse. In regards to Trump's bill. The way this flew up in the crease of my arm, the Nine of Coins. Three of Coins. A breaking of a collaboration, an agreement, a deal. It also feels like Three of Coins is also kind of like, I always think of like three's a crowd. Somebody is siphoning off more than they probably should, or it's an unequal deal maybe. And then we have the 9 of coins here in the upright, which is usually like you enjoying your riches, your wealth. I also most of the time think of the 9 of coins as a very independent female card as well. Is there somebody, okay, and it may not be females are going to get over on this, but it could, maybe it's just saying like this is an unequal deal. And this also makes me think of like the three, essentially we kind of like the three income classes here in America. You have low income, middle income, and then you call it the top 1% or the high earners here in America, essentially what we call it. And it kind of makes me feel like because this is an unequal yoke deal, yeah, it's unevenly proportioned. You see like how these two are about to fight over like this one space. Now it's the Hunger Games. Oh, one rose up under here. I want to see what this is. Sun of Swords. That was a whole booklet, so that's the only reason I'm not reading that. I'm getting so many cards. Okay. Why? I mean, I understand why. This is a bill that's going to affect a lot of people. It's a lot of energy here. It's a lot of hands in the pot. We got the Moon, the King of Swords in reverse, the 6 of Coins, 7 of Staffs. It's kind of makes me feel like I don't care. It's very self-serving. Which kind of makes sense with the Devil card being here as well. Ooh, Fool. Queen of Coins. This is weird to me. And then the 10 of Cups. Okay, I'm going to tell you what it feels like it's leaning to me, and I hope that's not where this is going, but it keeps popping up to me. And I don't want to be an alarmist, but if any of you have heard, seen, read The Handmaid's Tale, this kind of feels like, hey, this is the first step into you all just falling into that timeline. What do you do? Who would have thought? Like this is kind of like what it feels like. Because to me, it keeps feeling like there's a suppression or like a change. Like it's, let me slow down. It's a lot. I'm trying to get out at once. Okay. So I'm going to go back to what I was saying. Like the first time I was pulling cards, remember I pulled the, was it the King of Coins? And it was kind of like, hey, head of household here, some kind of heartbreak. To me, it kind of feels like there's an attack against, like, we have a belief that there's too many women that are being the head of household. They're too independent, and we're trying to retract that. We're trying to over course correct. And I think and I hope they're not thinking this small. This just feels too small for me to believe it. But it just kind of feels like in the course of them like over course correcting here, trying to kind of get women, I don't even want to say women back in the household, but trying to create families essentially. I think it's, there's a big through line here of like family, kind of effed up sort of thought of family to me, but it just kind of feels like there's a sort of effed up sense of family that they're trying to form here, and they're trying to make it happen by, hey, well, we know finances has a lot to do with it. If we have to make people kind of be codependent on each other or interdependent, whatever makes you feel better, like codependent or interdependent on one another to kind of get families to happen, that's what we're going to do. I feel like if anything, this big beautiful bill is going to at least bring about people being closer to their family, because they're going to kind of have to depend and lean on each other, because things are going to kind of get, my head hurt. Let's see what else. Did it all freeze for you all? I just noticed that it was just circling. And that was probably like trying to buffer to keep up. Let's see, is it moving again? Whatever, it seems like on my end the screen is froze, but you all can still hear what I'm saying. There it goes. Now it seems to be moving. Okay. Want to make sure the screen was not froze. See, attention to detail, pride. This doesn't give me apathy. This is like, I need to count my coins. I need to watch what I'm doing. I can't be prideful in this moment. I'm going to have to work and do what I have to do. See, the queen. It's what woman are you trying to humble, or what is it? Women in general? Like, I'm not understanding this. Determination, sacrifice. The 9 of Coins to me is like a woman independence card. I think you need to be careful what you ask for. You might be trying to force women back into the home, and that might be the wrong thing for you. You might have to watch some things. Who am I kidding? It's a lot of women out here that vote against they best interest at all times. Yes, I'm looking at a certain demographic. Smith, working on overthinking, taking action. Overthinking, taking action. That makes sense with the Fool card to me and the Malika of Coins. You know what? That makes sense with the Devil too. Don't overthink it. Just do it. We can figure it out along the way. This is 10. Okay, we have the foundations, community, but it's coming up in reverse. Remember, I was just saying, it feels like the one good thing this is going to bring about is people kind of building their community. It may be secular, like, this is my group, this is my people, I'm responsible for them, I'm going to look out for them. But it also feels like, okay, yes, you have your small private community, you're thinking very micro, but what does your macro community look like outside of just your home, your family, your neighbors, your friends? What's your macro kind of like community looking like? You need to expand that picture a little bit. That's what that's feeling like to me. I don't know if this is making sense, but hopefully it is. Again, intuitive reading. Then we have the Scholar here for investigation and research as the underlying energy. We also have the Weaver, rediscovery and transition. It's going to be a hard transition. And then the Pilgrim, opportunities and growth. I don't think it's going to bring about growth. There might be some opportunities there, but I don't know about growth. Gossip awakens consideration for the feelings of others. Femme fatale. I am going after these women. Something about this feels like I'm going after women. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna stick with that. That's something that seems to keep coming up. Yes, the bill is gonna help the upper class move up, but it's mainly I'm trying to make hard as possible to where I'm hitting the women. You can't be out here independent like that anymore. Go home. Opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. Again, it seems like I hope it's not that granular, that single-minded focus that's the reason behind this bill, but that's something that keeps popping up to me. And again, just feels like, hey, this is phase one to kick off Handmaid's Tale. And then we also have the Avengers here. It says, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Notice it is a map on his back here. What is this? That is, what countries? Alberta, British. What is another one? Is that Uruguay that I see in here? Is it Sao Paulo? I figured maybe that was going to kind of give me some information. But he is covered in a map. So I wonder if there is something here with, like, again, Avenger. Is it going to be something where people maybe go abroad? Is it going to be somebody that's not from here that's probably going to help change things out? I'm not sure. Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. There's something, I feel like, dealing with that. Yeah, I'm not getting anything else on the Trump bill, the big beautiful bill. Um, it really feels like this is more so attack against like head household independent females. If that's like the box you check off when you do your taxes, it's kind of like we're trying to bring you to heal. Like you're gonna have a kid. You are gonna have to have a kid, or you are going to have to get married or something. Like you going to, and you, it's, I think it's gonna drive people to be, it's a weird way to say it, a bit more secular but still community focused, because like they have to be, but they're not gonna kind of like trust or want to bend over backwards for other people. How can I break you and still get you to make children, make family in a way? I don't know what that is here, but that's the best way I can explain it. That's something that's kind of like coming through clear for me. So I do think it's going to be tough times, but I think mainly it's going to be tough if you are poor and or head a household and you're single, no kids, not married. 3, if you are female, because I think a lot of this stuff is probably going to go, again, we already see they're doing a lot of rollback when it comes to female health here in America anyway. And then 4, it feels like secular communities. Like, it feels very like, this is my compound. Like, that's the energy that I'm getting here for, like, the outcome. I don't know. And that'll be interesting to see in the future what I am getting right or wrong about that, because that's weird. But that's what I'm picking up on. Yeah. I am going to get back in here. I'm going to change up this title and see. And then we're going to do, so the next thing we're going to get into, I'm going to say the juiciest one, at least going to be the juiciest one for me. We're going to get into Puff's sentencing. The last one I'm going to do is the Roc Nation drama that's going on, because, yeah, that's going to be the most interesting one for me. That's how I'm going to close this one out. So yeah, let's change that up. I'm going to put those times down. Ow, I hit my bunny bone. It's not funny. It hurts. Sort of. Okay. Let's do our next little shuffle here. Get that in there, get that in there. Shuffly shuffles. So, if you all have been hiding under a rock or not watching, don't care, great. Wish I could be like you, but it just seems like it's everywhere. It's a distraction if you ask me. But Puff, or some of you may know him as P. Diddy, the Diddler, Sean Combs, the head owner of Bad Boy Records, the guy who was caught on video on 4K. I'm not laughing about what I'm about to say next, but caught in 4K because that was a pretty grainy video. But he was caught in 4K having a DV situation with his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, and he has finally come to a close with this case. They are in deliberations for his sentencing, which is pushed off until October sometime, I think. So the deliberations and stuff happened for how many counts he was guilty of or what he was going to be charged with, and I think he had like 4 or 5 charges against him. I am probably messing up some of this lingo, but he had 4 or 5 charges levied against him. I think 2 of them was transporting what, sexual transportation? No, transporting sex or something like that. He had the trafficking, and then he had a RICO charge, and I think it was something else, and he was found guilty of 2 of the 5 or 4 charges that he had levied against him. The prosecutors were trying to get him on the RICO, but it just wouldn't stick, and they didn't really find him guilty of the trafficking, so he is not guilty of that. He is off. But the rest of the situation is that he is going to, at least the highest amount of time he can face for the charges that he is convicted of is 10 years. I highly doubt he's going to get 10 years. He's going to face 10 years for both of those counts. I think in total, overall, some people are saying this man is going to do 27 months plus the time served. He already been served, what, 10 months in jail? It hasn't been 10 months. It don't feel like it. But they're saying he will probably get 27 months. And that's including the time served. And I'm like, what? I hope not. I hope he get some years. I'm thinking maybe 4 to 7. Maybe some people think that's going to be extreme. I'm thinking 4 to 7 for how profiled this case is, how they have shown his character to not be the best during this whole trial. And yeah, I feel like he should get 4 to 7 years. And this is because we have heard, at least here in America, I don't know about anybody else, here in America, Canada, I know people have heard stories of how Diddy has, for years, his parties and his alleged bad boy behavior. Yes. So I feel like he should get more, but we'll see. We're going to see what the sentencing says. So we're going to see if we can get a beat on what's going to fall out with this whole sentencing. His family and stuff seems pretty happy happy with the charges that came out there. I guess they feel like this is looking pretty positive, you know, because at least he wasn't found guilty of the RICO charges, because there would have been some time. So they're really excited that those charges was dropped. But who knows? Maybe somebody comes back around and get him on that. If it's more witnesses or anything that comes out, which I doubt, because it seems like they were really trying to sidestep a lot in this. From what I gather, from what, you know, like secondhand stories people have been saying about this case, it seems like the prosecutors were really sidestepping a lot, trying to not allude to other celebrities that could potentially have been in this whole court case. So yeah, it seems like they were kind of sidestepping a lot, or it was certain witnesses that probably came forward and told them things, but they didn't want to kind of like take the stand or something. They didn't want to be what they call it, not a key witness, but like, you know, they didn't want to be like an informant or anything like that. They were just kind of like, hey, I'm gonna give you this information that's off the books, and you build your case if you want to. If you know you got enough information to prove it without me being there and having to say anything. Because no, I'm not trying to deal with that man one time or however many times was enough. So yeah, this has finally come to an end in sort of way. Some people are kind of happy with this turnout. Some people are very upset with it. But I mean, at least he's found guilty of something. Hopefully this starts setting a precedent and changes things, because he could have walked. Because we very much believe in there's really three different legal systems here in America. One for if you're white, one for if you're black, and one if you're rich, and one if you're poor. So, you know, we'll see. You know, he got one thing in his favor and one thing not in his favor. He's black and he's rich. And I guess sometimes some people will see that as two strikes against him, because not you had the audacity to be an uppity, you know, I can't say the word, but yes. So we're going to get into this reading and see what's going to be coming out for the citizen for Sean Combs, Sean Puffy, whatever you want to call him, and see what's going to come out. I'm kind of like nerve-wracked about this, because I really want him to serve some time, just because of we know he's guilty, just like we know he's guilty. If you have been hearing and seeing the things over the years or rumors, and I know that's not how the law works. This is all hearsay, conjecture, whatever. I get it. The law is not emotional. It's all hearsay, but I really feel like he should serve more time. This me personally. But, you know, to each his own. We all have our own opinions. And as I stated, this is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. As you can see, I am expressing my own opinions. But we're going to see what these cards' opinions is saying. It's not really even an opinion. We're going to see what these cards are saying, what they hopefully are going to be pointing out what's going to be like the sentencing for Sean Puffy Kitty Combs, however you want to say. All the names he done did, Brother Love over the years. He just switched up so much. So let's see. Ooh, that was a whole book. Let's mix these in here a little bit. They keep trying to give me a book. I don't need all that. I'm not trying to read 15 cards. I need no more than 4, thank you. I feel like one more wants to come out. Ooh. It was more than one more. What's these two? The Star and the 8 of Cups. Oh, you see how that's sticking out? Two of coins. I don't know why I heard play ball when I seen that two of coins. I'm just going to put that out there because sometimes that just happens. But we do have the Five of Cups. So it's not going to be as bad as you think it is. Five of Cups. Usually this is like don't cry over spilled milk card for me. We have the Daughter of Coins here. So this could be alluding to a person. Maybe it could be also alluding to the law because, hey, I know his bail was denied. That was something I also forgot to mention earlier. I know they denied his bail mainly because of the flight risk and people crying. Well, let me not say it like that. But I believe also because of the prosecutors, relaying on behalf of his client, Cassie, that, she feared if he was to get out, if he was to post bail, with him being a flight risk, him having access to the money that he do, the network that he has, she feared for herself. And I do believe she is pretty much getting ready to pop anytime now. She is pregnant. She was pregnant on the stand during this case. So it's only a matter of time for she deliver this baby. So if she hasn't already. So I know that's a concern here. I don't know what Cassie's sign is. I don't know if she's an earth sign, but we do have the Daughter of Coins here, and that is somebody who's like a Taurus, a Virgo, a Capricorn. Again, this could also be somebody who's probably very financially efficient here, someone who is really well at kind of like, they may be at the beginning stages of like a financial journey or a partnership or something like that, and they're putting it into play. Someone who's kind of like, hey, I know what it's like to manage money in theory. I'm ready to start probably putting it into practice. Again, Daughter of Coins could also be not just a person, it could be a place or a thing. So that's what I was alluding to. Maybe it's one of the jurors. Maybe it's one of his defense attorneys. Maybe it's someone a part of Diddy's company. Who knows? This Daughter of Coins could be something like that. But then we also have the Four of Staffs here, and it's coming up in reverse. So there, to me, feels like he is going to be going away for some time. Because usually the Four of Staffs is usually dealing with like family, is dealing with home. So to me, this kind of feels like what is coming up in reverse. It feels like broken home. Like maybe somebody may not be there. There's some kind of separation or some bond or breakage being there in that relationship. And then I just rubbed my eye. I just rubbed ash in my eye. Sorry. And then we have the Two of Coins here. Yeah, it feels like anybody here in the States who have dealt with the legal system, again, will understand when I say this made me think of JPay. This instantly made me think of JPay. Hey, I gotta make sure I put money on their books. Things are going to be tight for a minute. Gotta make sure I have money for home and then money for his books. I gotta make sure he got money for while he's docked away. That's what this Two of Coins made me think of. So I do think he's going to serve some time. How much time? I don't think I will be able to be the one to tell you. I'm pretty bad with telling time with tarot. But to me, again, we see he's going to serve some kind of time here. Are they going to split it maybe, going back to this Five of Cups? Is it going to be 5 months? No, I was going to say, is this Daughter of Coins him? No, he's a Scorpio. But the underlying cards here we have is the Nine. Oh, sneakiness. 7 of Swords. And then we have the Nine of Staffs. So the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Staffs. I don't think he's going to serve the full sentence. Whatever the sentencing may be. I don't think he's going to serve the full sentence. Like, he's going to get out on good behavior, or again, it's going to be something with like time served, or maybe people are not going to be happy with the time that they do give him. Like, maybe it's never going to feel like enough to some people as well. They could say they could lock this man away for 30 years and they would not be happy with it. The man is already like in his 50s. I mean, I don't know. The Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, wish fulfilled, and it is coming up in the upright. Then we have the Seven of Swords. This is kind of like stealing away, sneakiness, deceit. Why is that coming? Wish fulfilled and then deceit and then kind of like taking a rest out of a burden before I kind of continue onwards. Let's see. Let's see if we can get some additional info. Community foundations, mentors, see, finances, mentorship, finances. Why is that coming up for him? The patron, daughter of coins, the patron. Is he gonna have somebody that's like backing him? Or that's like working to lower his sentencing or something? Get something done? I'm just gonna take note, we do have the fates here, accepting help, guidance. Let's see if it's actually meant to fall out here. Ooh. Oh, that's 3 cards I wanted to come out. The Dancer, self-expression, the Champion, achievement, downfall, the Archer, biding your time, planning ahead. That seems pretty accurate, but we're going to mix these up in here. What's really supposed to come out and stick for the Forest Ass energy? What is this Forest Ass energy representing spirit when it comes to Diddy's sentencing? That was way too much. The Walker, the Unknown, a journey. That made me think jailbird. I'm sorry, it was birds. I'm sorry, it was just there. Jailbird, the Walker. Oh wait, no, I just moved that one. The Warrior, perfectionism, burnout. That don't make sense to me with the Two of Coins. Is that really supposed to be out here? The Miser, stubbornness and inflexibility. Underlying energies, we have tradition and order, the diviner, divine timing, evaluation, and then the waker, awareness and reflection. You know, a lot of people keep thinking he's gonna get pardoned by Trump, so maybe they is gonna give him a lot of time and then he get pardoned. Who knows? We do have the Daughter of Coins here. It says the patron, somebody who's gonna be there financially, but you just gonna owe me a favor if I do it. Let's see what else we're gonna get out of this. Let's see. I'm sorry, I just noticed I'm honing in that this has 2 and 2 here. What was being pointed out to me about that? I don't know. It's going now. Here we go to this Avenger again. What is this? The Avengers movie? The trilogy? What's going on? Avenger. And what does it say? Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. What's this other 2 cards that fell out here? Oh, sorry. 3 cards. We have the Teacher, which came up in reverse. So I'm going to read the shadow attributes. It says manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. Again, to me, that's like alluding to this mentorship, this patron that's involved in this situation in some kind of way. I'm not sure who or what that's coming up with. Okay. Then we also have the Companion. This did come up in the upright. So the light attributes reads loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. I feel like he got somebody looking out for him, which wouldn't surprise me. Not one bit. Not one iota, okay? As people say here. Child wounded. Light attributes comes up in the upright. It says awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. I hope this man don't go on some whole I'm saved arc. I've learned my lesson, to kind of like wash his image. And is people gonna fall for it? Absolutely. It's gonna be some people that's gonna gobble that up. I don't think so. I think that zebra is too old to change his stripes. Rebel, light attributes. Sorry, let me bring y'all up to speed. I'm reading the underlying energies here. So we have Rebel in the upright, which says challenges authority to affect social change. Reject spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Here go that networker again. Here go that network, that social media. Hearsay, he said, she said, that propaganda, that media, read it, read all about it. That's what this card means to me. And then we have the Adonis, but it came up in reverse. So I'm going to read the shadow attributes. Listen well, okay? Let me bring this mic in closer so I can. Oh, sorry, I probably heard that. Pop your ears. Pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. Okay? That's what that says. That's what that says. Clear up. There we go. That's what the Adonis says, okay? Those was the underlying energies. That man ain't changing. He may go on a whole, he gonna clean his image up and stuff. Or maybe he embraces it and people gonna be down for the shenanigans. I do think he's gonna serve some time. I don't think it's gonna be the time people feel it's gonna be justified or it's gonna be right for the amount of harm he has caused to some people. The intimidation that he has extracted, he has what they call it, he has placed on people and have done. But I do think he's going to serve some time, and I just don't think it's either not going to be the full time, or it's going to be something where it's like they give him a very like small slap on the wrist, or he's going to end up, I don't know, making bail or something, or somebody's going to shorten the time in some kind of sense. Something about it just don't feel fulfilling. Like, it don't feel like he's gonna serve the whole time, essentially, is what I'm gonna say. He is going to jail, but I don't know if it might be 3 months. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be something crazy like that. I don't think he's gonna serve that much time. I think it's gonna be short. I don't think people's gonna be happy with it. Or they're gonna get him on something like time served, and people are just gonna have to eat that and be okay. Cause yeah, to me, it doesn't feel like it's going to be that long. Or again, it's going to feel adequate for the amount of wrongness with this whole case, with this whole situation. So, yeah. Do y'all think he's just gonna end up serving a few months, or do y'all think he's gonna serve some years? Because I think they definitely gonna give him for time served or something like that. I just really hope they don't, like, yeah, whatever, you get out on good behavior. I feel like, as much as I don't like it for him, that's fair. But I wonder if, I don't know, can you still make bail then? Or is he going to get out on parole? Is he going to be able to serve some of his sentencing at home? What if that's with it? What if he serves some of his time at home? He doesn't have to be, like, in jail. What if that's what's going to piss people off? Because that's what it feels like to me. It's going to be like, what? Now, if he was any other Tom, Dick, or Harry, that wouldn't be happening. I think y'all should just be prepared. I think some people are going to be surprised. But, yeah. I'm just bracing myself, because in today's world, this timeline that we in, anything is possible. Okay? But let's finish it on out. We're going to get into the Roc Nation drama is what I'm going to call it, because I don't want to say this lady's name too many times, because I feel like furniture or something going to start moving in here. But we're just going to get to the Roc Nation drama is what I'm going to call it. If you all are not familiar with this or don't know about it, you've been hiding under rock, you ain't seen the news, the headlines. A certain CEO, part co-owner, I believe the allegedly of Roc Nation is at odds with their own child, because apparently they were trying to get their own child locked up and put away, get them declared as mentally incapable of, like, taking care of themselves, and also trying to get their child's husband locked up under ex-trafficking charges. So yeah, it's been a whole debacle, and it's been messy, and people have been kind of like all going crow for it and running for the hills and spreading this information and saying you really should watch Roc Nation, what's going on over there, because, you know, this is also cropping up with this whole time between, you know, Jay-Z having this alleged court case with this victim who, I think it was proven, so I think I can say this without having to say alleged, but I'm gonna say alleged to cover myself, with this victim allegedly who says that Jay-Z was involved with a SA incident that he did at one of Diddy's parties. Look at that through line. Allegedly, but it came out that she falsified it, or she didn't recollect all of the information, and so some of this was dropped, or the attorney had to stop talking about it. But I also seen something where some other charge is still going through between Busby and Jay-Z. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe somebody can clarify that, because I've seen the headline, but I didn't really want to read too much into the article, because I knew I was going to do this reading here. So I tried to not have anything kind of just influence what I'm saying. On top of that, some other things that's going on in Roc Nation, that Roc Nation is also going through this lawsuit, or is trying to sue DJ Academics for some stuff that he's been doing. Supposedly, Roc Nation and the previous Young Money, Drake, Weezy, and Lil. Why am I about to say Lil Kim? And that's not the lady name. Hey, put your tomatoes away. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean it. And Nicki, sorry. I'm so sorry. And Nicki have fallen out with each other, and they're supposedly beefing. And Nicki really has a hard on for this CEO or co-owner of Roc Nation for sure, because they have been trying to kind of like ruin her career. The daughter of the CEO is supposedly wanting to link up with Nicki, because it seems like there's similarities here, or some information that they can share to help each other out. What else has been going on with Roc Nation throughout all of this stuff? Yeah, I still hear that Jay-Z still has a case out there for his alleged son, that still is trying to get the blood work and the reports on his DNA test that prove that Jay-Z is his father, and Jay-Z has been delaying as much as he can, and he popping out overseas so he can avoid doing his paternity test. It's just so much. But yes, it's been a lot of drama. And this a very kind of like accordion version of it. I am really shrinking a lot of it. I'm not giving a lot of the information. But it's been a lot popping up with Roc Nation. And not to mention, you know, a lot of people are still hung up on the stuff with the whole Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion stuff that's going on. We're not even gonna rope in Rihanna. Oh, and the stuff with Pusha T. They just signed Pusha T because he left Def Jam because they wouldn't clear a verse for Kendrick Lamar, and amongst the whole beef with was it Def Jam or was it Universal Records? Def Jam may be under Universal. I'm not sure how that all worked, but he left his label, Good Music and all of that, and this is going on amongst this whole beef or big takedown, hate train, however you want to say it, against Drake, and this whole thing with Kendrick and Roc Nation is just like cementing the fact that they do not like Drake, Nicki, at all, and has signed Pusha T to kind of just further this alleged agenda. It's just been a lot of mess with Roc Nation, but we're gonna see what's going on because it's too much, and I need some clarity. I don't need clarity on this, but I want some clarity. It's juiciness, it's some drama, and I think anybody who is willing to do that to their own kid, like what's the reason? What is the reason? Why? I want to know. I don't understand your train of thought. And maybe it's best that I don't, but I'm going to try to see if I understand it tonight. We're going to see what these cards say. And we're going to focus in on this D Perez. I'm going to say that, D Perez. We're going to hone in on this and see what's coming up between her and her daughter, because that's messy. So again, this is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. All of this stuff I've been just telling y'all. You see, I was saying hearsay and tabloids and rumors. So we have no concrete evidence of any of this. I can't say for sure that that's what's going on. But we're going to see what these cards say. I'm going to see what I can pick up on. All right. Ooh, my nose itch. Whoa, we have a lot of cards here. So we have the Alchemist, aka the Magician. We also have the Wheel of Fortune and the Ten of Swords. Ooh. Okay, let's see what's really supposed to come out here. I just need a card. I don't want all of that. Thank you. Seven of coins here. Ooh, Three of Staffs. So I'm getting this for the daughter's energy. This is the mom's energy, aka the co-founder, CEO of Roc Nation energy here. Ooh. This feel like move out the way, y'all. The queens are fighting. Welcome to the Queen's Court. We're fighting. We're bucking it out. Okay, so the Seven of Coins here, I think I don't want to sound biased when I say this, but I think it just comes naturally with somebody that's in her position and who has the power and access to financial capital like she does. To me, it just kind of feels like D. Perez, I don't want to say it's arrogant, but because it feels like that's something that's natural, somebody who holds the power that she possesses. Like it makes sense that that's kind of like her attitude. That's what I'm getting with the Seven of Coins. I'm getting somebody who is very much, I know how to apply my coins. I know how to utilize the resources and the materials and things like that that's within my hand, that I have within my contacts, within my network. I know how to utilize that to my, whether it's my own gains or for others. I know how to utilize that. And then we have the Three of Staffs here, and it's coming up in reverse. So I'm not sure what is this stuck energy or not knowing what the next move. I'm not sure why that will be coming up for her. Because usually when I see the Three of Staffs, it's kind of like feeling not having a clear direction. I don't know exactly where I'm going after this. I don't know where I want to move. Maybe kind of feeling restraints, maybe feeling stuck. Maybe that will also make sense too, because the daughter did allege that the mom has been watching her and been sicking PIs on her and all this stuff, allegedly. Again, has had her committed to what they call it, a mental hold or something like that, some kind of holding for a while. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's kind of feeling like I'm stuck. I don't know kind of how to like get out of this situation. And then the Malika of Swords here, the energies in between, I'm not sure why exactly this would be the energy in between them, because I feel like if anything, this would have been the card I would have pulled for D. Perez. But the Malika of Swords is usually it's usually a feminine energy. It's usually someone who's like an air sign. So think your Aquarius, your Geminis, your Libras. It's also somebody who is very cunning, somebody who is very, I want to say like brash or cutthroat when it comes to their tone. They're very sharp tongue. It could also be a widower, someone who is very cold, very analytical, as well as is the other energy that it can kind of represent. And it doesn't have to exactly be a person. It could be an entity. Maybe it's Roc Nation itself. Maybe it's this situation. Is a very cold situation between these two, because I usually tell people the core cards doesn't always have to represent a person. It could be a place or a thing. It could be kind of like the scenario, the energies between these two. They have a very cold relationship, which again, it would make sense because if you've seen the interview that Demore did about this whole situation, she herself allegedly states that, you know, her mom wasn't really there in the picture. You know, she went away for some time. You know, she was kind of like out there in the streets for some time, and she was mostly being raised by her grandmother. She calls her grandmother her mother. So that would make sense. Just things to note. We have the Nine of Coins, the Daughter of Swords in reverse. The Daughter of Swords in reverse. I feel a little powerless against my mom here. Lack of independence with the Nine of Coins coming up here. And then we also have the Daughter of Coins. I feel like the daughter may be of some wealth or some means as well, but the Daughter of Swords coming up in reverse is so funny. It's coming up in the middle as well. Will make sense. And it's of the same suit. So it kind of makes me feel like, yeah, we're of the same cloth, we're of the same blood or something like that. Maybe we even have some of the same tendencies, but I don't apply minds ruthlessly like that. I don't know. It's kind of like the energy. Let's see what else we're going to be picking up here. Let's see. Oh, that flew. What is this? Fill up right this. We have champion, achievement, downfall. I'm going to say achievement because it's coming up in the upright. What exactly she's about to achieve, I don't know what her end goal is here, but it feels like whatever it is, she's going to achieve it. Get 2 cards for the daughter. We have the wise one, tradition and order. This makes me feel like she is out of her comfort zone. I'm out of my comfort zone. The vengeance, overcoming slights, a choice. Is she gonna buckle? Is she kind of gonna fold on something? Or is she gonna get her lid back in a way? Interesting. The painter, productivity and creation. Productivity and creation. Oh, you know something else I just wanted to point out too? Notice the champion here is holding the sword. I know I'm late, but I utilize my weapons. Then the underlying energies here, we have the mascara. The masquerary. We have hiding your true self, projection. We also have the musician. It says inspiration and gratitude. The musician, just take note, the musician. And then we have the astronomer, discovery, augury. Discovery, augury. Investigation and research is another underlying card. I hope what I'm getting is not true. I feel like, I don't know, something, maybe she's going to be dealt a blow here, the daughter, but it kind of feels like, I don't know, maybe is she going to buckle or fold on something, or maybe she's going to lose something. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe this will give me some better insight here. But I do think the daughter is definitely shaken up at this time, which would be understandable. I know I wouldn't know how to act if my mama was doing me like this. I'd be like, thought you loved me. Okay, I just want to take note that these 2 cards popped out. We have the version. These are both in the upright. One says maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. And then we also have victim here. Prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Hold on, you all. bug in my room. You know those little house millipedes? I just seen it crawling across the wall. And then I went to hit it and it fell somewhere on my desk. And now I'm scared. So we're going to wrap this up real quick. Because now I got to figure out where this bug went to. Because I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight not knowing where it's at. So yes. Let's get back into this shuffle. And if I'm at an awkward angle, it's just because I'm standing. Because again, like I said, I lost the bug somewhere on my desk and I'm like freaked out where it went. I'll tell you one thing. Miss Desiree, she is definitely a queen. She's definitely giving queen energy. We have radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Why does she feel like she is protecting her daughter? What is something she feels like she's protecting her daughter from? And notice what the shadow says too. Becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. Oh, okay, it's not naked. I was pulling off the screen. I thought it was prostitute. It comes up in the light. It says accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. Okay, so to me, this kind of feels like Demore is going to have to tap into a side of herself that maybe she doesn't like. Because maybe it does remind her of her mom or something in some sense, but it's necessary in this. And maybe she has shied away from that gift, that power that she has because of the negative connotations that she has around it. But it's probably going to help her in this situation. She just needs to learn how to like not compromise herself in a way, like not compromise what she holds dear or like her morals or something. That's what the prostitution card kind of gives me. That's the energy is giving me. Okay, and this fell right in the middle. Child wounded. Awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. What? So basically, this is a big family fight. Take us out the chat. Take us out the chat. And this is not the way you get your daughter to like you or to have a relationship with your daughter, by messing with the person that she loves. Like, why do that? Why do all of this right now? Does she feel like the boyfriend is stealing from her? What? I'm not sure why this is coming up in for the underlying energy. Because we have the thief and then we have God, but it came up in reverse. And the shadow attributes of the guy says this despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. Why are you trying to control her? You coming in late to her life. Now you want to play mom? Allegedly, is that what this is? And then we have Pioneer also coming up in reverse. So the shadow attributes read compulsive need to keep moving on. Okay, we're going to get the two more cards that it shows up under here. Because then we have athlete. Misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends. False sense of invulnerability and entitlement. And then this is the card I wanted to get to, Judge. offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. Yes, I drawn that out like that for a reason. This is a lot of negative energy. I'm saying again, all this other negative stuff up under here. I'm not going to read the whole bottom of this deck. But to me, yeah, it feels like, simply put, I'm more inclined to believe the Moray, just looking at these cards, not because I've seen her interview, but I do think there is Myss, maybe mom is trying, Miss D. Perez is trying to be a good motherly figure. She wants to be there for her daughter. Maybe it's showing up in the wrong way. Maybe she's seen the boyfriend do something that rubbed her the wrong way, and now she's going after him and trying to separate him from her daughter, whatever the case may be. I don't know. Or maybe she feels like somebody is going after her daughter and she'd rather have her close to kind of like keep an eye on her and make sure nobody mess with her. But I think maybe she's, you know, allegedly, according to this and what her daughter is saying, she's going about it in the wrong way. It's kind of like, you know, everything is a nail to her. She walks around like a hammer and everything is a nail. So she just gotta bash it in and do what she has to do. She doesn't know another style or way of doing it because she, you know, she's used to being a person like, when I tell people to jump, they ask me how high and we go on from there. And I think she doesn't understand that she doesn't kind of like have that relationship with her daughter. Like her daughter may just give her respect out of the sake of like, this is how I was brought up. I know you're my mom. I know we have some sort of relationship. I was always taught to respect you and love you or whatever. Like I always felt like you were there for me. But that also doesn't mean that you could push me around because I very much had to grow up without you being here. I am very much an individual myself. I have my own life. You can't push me around and try to come back and play mom now or try to make up for all those years lost. I don't know if that's exactly what's going on here. That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting though. And they just haven't found the rhythm or the style for how to work through maybe a problem or issue that they have going on with them. But yeah. I would put more, but again, like I said, it's a bug in my room that I am nervous about touching me. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I've been on here for 2 hours. I think that's long enough. So I did add the timestamps down in the description box. I may private this video after a while and break this up in different ones. And if I do an extended reading on one of these, or if you would like to see an extended reading, I would more than be happy to do like a part 2, especially on the whole Roc Nation issue, because yeah, this is really interesting. But with all of that being said, in the myriad of topics that we went through, let me know what you think down in the description box below. Is there some kind of like blind items that I'm not aware of? What's kind of like the word on the street that some of you all are informed of that's been going on with these situations? Please share. You know, we're just going to talk about it. We don't know what's going on. We're watching from the outside looking in, okay? This is all alleged. But with that being said, I wish you all a happy holiday, a happy night or day wherever you are. If you're here in the States, happy 4th. It may be kind of like one of the last ones we have in a while. I say that jokingly now, but it may not be funny in a few days or a few years. But yes, again, thank you all for being here, for joining me, for watching. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, to share this video. Make sure to also subscribe if this is your first time here. Subscribe and hit that notification bell, selecting it to all so you can see the next time that I upload. And with that, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.